Hello, and in this band descriptor video I'm going to focus on grammatical range and accuracy. Now this one is more difficult because I don't know how you speak and I can't personally improve your grammatical range and accuracy, but I can point out a few things that can help you improve, and as I go through the course there'll be other things I point out as well. So let's take a look at the band descriptors, and for band 7 it's about using a range of complex structures with some flexibility. So what this means is they're using different tenses, different ways of saying things in terms of grammar, and you frequently produce error-free sentences, although you are allowed to make some mistakes. To get into band 8 and 9, you have to make very few mistakes, and this is why it's incredibly difficult to get high band scores in this particular band. So I want to start with just briefly looking at this part 2 topic, which is a long car journey you've been on. I'm not going to go through the model answer, I just want to point out something. There is a video that goes through model answer. It's not this particular model answer, I've simplified it for this video because I want to focus on one particular thing. But notice the questions: when it was, where you went, what you saw, how you felt. It's all about the past, and I've noticed that even very good candidates forget that they're talking about the past. If you look at this model answer, the past simple is highlighted. What some candidates tend to do is start in the past tense and then switch to the present tense. If you're not good at using the past simple, you're not going to get 6, 7, 8 or 9. So you really need to focus on that, because grammatical accuracy is a big part of this band score. In terms of improving your grammatical range, if we look at what it states in IELTS band 6, it's about using a mix of simple and complex structures, but for band 7, a range of complex structures. So if you're just using the past simple and the present simple, that's not a range of structures. Now, one way you can add to your range is use used to. So let's take a look at how you could do that. So here is a question from part 1. Do you read a newspaper or read news online? Why? A few years ago I used to read a newspaper because my parents used to buy one every day. Nowadays, however, I usually read the news online as it's cheaper and more up to date. So you can see that I've used used to plus infinitive, and although it's just still a past tense, it's showing that you know how to use this and you're not just using the past simple all the time. So it's adding to your grammatical range. Let's take a look at another example. Do you read domestic news or international news? Why? When I was younger, I used to read the domestic news as I wasn't particularly interested in international affairs. However, as I've got older, I've become increasingly more interested in international affairs than I used to be, so I now read both. So again, used to plus infinitive. Just popping a few used to's in your speaking and your writing shows the examiner that you have a greater grammatical range. Now, one tense that I love is the present perfect continuous, and I mention it in other videos, and it's something we use in English all the time, but it's incredibly difficult for non-native speakers, as in a lot of other languages you don't use continuous tenses as much as we do in English. If you use continuous tenses in IELTS, the IELTS examiner's like, great, this person knows how to use continuous tenses. So for example, how long have you been living here? I've been living here for about 3 years. So an action that started in the past and continues in the present. I have been living here. Do you work or are you a student? I'm a student. I'm studying economics. I've been studying this subject for the last 2 years, so I strongly recommend before that you take the exam, because study and hometown are subjects that you probably will get asked about. Write some sentences. So how long have you been living there? What are you studying? Because this is present continuous. How long have you been studying it? I have been studying it for, or I have been studying it since. And just practice using them so you say them in a very natural way. Can you play any musical instruments? Yes, I'm learning to play the piano. I've been playing this instrument for the past 5 years, so I have been playing. Started in the past, continues in the present. How long have you been learning English? I've been trying to learn English for the past few years, but it's only this last year that I've been focusing on it properly. So, don't give homework in these videos normally, but as your homework, just write some sentences that you could use to talk about you that are in the present perfect continuous. Think about your work, your study, where you live, or something that you've been doing for a few years. Think about maybe a sport. I've been swimming for the past 3 years. I've been playing tennis since I was a child. The more you practice using the present perfect continuous, the more likely it is that you're going to include it in your IELTS speaking. And when I was IELTS examining, if somebody said one of these, I was like, wow, they are good, because they're using continuous tenses. Good luck. Thanks for watching.